how I think Katsuki Bakugo would react to your Halloween costume. Mina, do I really have to wear this costume? You whine. I feel like this is a little bit too much for your Halloween party tonight. Oh, come on, YN, you look great, Mina encourages. Come out already, I want to see, Uraka says excitedly. You groan out, not really wanting to make them wait any more than they already have. You open the bathroom door and stand there in your costume, nervously twiddling your fingers. At the sight of you, the two girls in front of you gasp out in excitement, with big grins on their faces. Damn, girl, you look great, Mina squeals. I agree, Uraka agrees with a giant smile on her face. Thanks, guys, you say gently as your cheeks heat up. And I bet a certain angry blonde will like seeing you in this costume. Mina giggles at you as she wiggles her eyebrows at you. At the mention of the one and only Katsuki Bakugo, your cheeks heat up even more at the thought of him staring at you and admiring your choice of costume. Stop, Mina! Oh, come on, YN, you know that you love that, she sings with a snicker. Stop! You groan as you cover your face with your hands as you feel your face heat up even more, if that's even possible. A little while later, Mina's Halloween party has begun and almost every single one of your old classmates from UA have arrived. The only ones who haven't shown up yet are Kirishima and Bakugo. Just got a text from Kiri and he said he and Bakugo are on their way up, Kaminari tells you and Mina. Ooh, I wonder what Bakugo's coming in as, Mina squeals, all the while smirking smugly at you, since she knows that you've been anxious about seeing Bakugo since the party started. Knowing him, it's probably something badass. Kaminari smiles. He's most likely right. You've known Bakugo for years, and he definitely has a way of showing how he thinks he's badass. Oi! Extras! An all-too-familiar angry voice yells from the entryway of Mina's large apartment, which causes everyone, and you mean everyone, to turn towards the door to see both Kirishima and Bakugo standing in the doorway in their costumes. Whoa. You catch yourself thinking as you watch Bakugo stomp his way over to you, Mina, and Kaminari after Kirishima, who is grinning at the sight of the three of you. Looks like someone really does like what he's dressed as, Mina coos with a quiet snicker to Sero, who snickers as well. Oi! Bakugo exclaims, which causes you, Mina, and Sero to jump. What are you damn extra snickering about? Nothing, Mina squeaks out nervously. Nothing, huh? Bakugo asks her. Don't you dare be... Take it easy there, Baku bro. They're just messing around. Kirishima cuts his outburst off by wrapping his arm around him. Right, YN? He asks, which causes Bakugo's red eyes to land on you, for what you assume to be the first time considering how they widen a bit at the sight of you. You feel your cheeks flush a bit as you meet his eyes, nodding to Kirishima's question. Yeah, just messing around. Fine. Whatever. Bakugo growls as he pushes Kirishima off of him, averting his eyes from yours after a moment. You look great in your costume, by the way, YN, Kirishima says to you. You smile back, about to reply, but he continues. Don't you think so too, Baku bro? That makes not only your eyes to widen, but Bakugo's as well as he whirls around to glare at Kirishima. Oh, thanks, Kiri. You smile, a slight blush on your cheeks. Mina kind of forced me into this since I didn't really have a costume. You hear Bakugo scoff. Course she did. He mutters before meeting your eyes for a moment before speaking again. And I guess your costume isn't the worst she could have forced you into. Okay. Not really the praise you wanted to get from him in any sort of situation, but you guessed you could still take it as a compliment. Kind of. Thanks, Bakugo. You smile. I really like your costume too, by the way. Bakugo's face turns a light pink for a second before he smirks smugly. Course you do. As you should. How I think Izuku Midoriya, aka Deku, would react to your Halloween costume. Halloween is by far your favorite holiday, and you'll be damned if you don't scare at least one person before the night ends. That being said, you decided to dress up as a scary clown, because who isn't afraid of scary clowns? And as such, you've been scaring your fellow UA students, whether they be from the hero course or otherwise, as they leave their dorms to go trick-or-treating. As of this moment, you don't know the exact number of how many you've scared tonight. All you know is that it's more than 10 people. Many of the students you've scared so far were impressed by your costume. Others, however, not so much. The ones who weren't either impressed or literally scared shitless by you just glared at you menacingly before storming away from you, probably to tell the teachers about what you're doing. Luckily, no teachers have come by to stop you from scaring your fellow students as they pass by the bush that you're hiding behind. It's been roughly about 10 minutes since the last person you scared was scared off. Maybe that was the last student, you think glumly, since you were hoping that you would be scaring people pretty much until curfew at 11 at night. You sigh out in disappointment, about to get up from your spot on the ground, when you hear what sounds like 2 pairs of feet walking down the path in front of your hiding spot. Yes! You think excitedly as you fist bump in excitement, as you get up from the ground, ready to scare and hopefully impress your next 2 scare victims. You wait for the 2 people to walk past your hiding spot before slowly coming out of it behind them. You notice they're both boys, one of them being Todoroki, who's dressed up as a vampire. You're not really sure who the boy is dressed up as a ghost is, though, since you can't really see his face all that well. You brush that thought off, seeing as you'll find out who he is in a second after you scare him and Todoroki. Hello, boys, you say in your most creepy-sounding voice. In an instant, the boy dressed up as a ghost lets out a scared screech before falling to the ground, while Todoroki just turns around to face you stoically. After the boy dressed up as a ghost falls to the ground, you see that it's yet another classmate of yours, Izuku Midoriya. Midoriya! Oh my god, are you alright? You shout as you rush over to his side as he's laying on the ground, pale as a literal ghost. It takes a second for Deku to try and reply to your question, but before he can get a word out, a loud, obnoxious laugh breaks through the quiet of the UA grounds. The 3 of you turn to see Bakugo and Kirishima walking down the path towards you, Bakugo literally laughing his ass off. You glare at him intensely. If only he was the one that got scared instead of Izuku, then you would be the one laughing your ass off right now instead of him. Of course Deku would be scared by a girl! Ha! Bakugo chuckles, all the while Kirishima's trying to stop him from antagonizing Izuku any further as you and Todoroki help him back up to his feet. If I were the one in your shoes, you damn nerd, I would have blown her sky high without even letting out a sound. You roll your eyes and scoff at that. Yeah, right. Huh? What did you just say? Bakugo explodes, all the while Kirishima grabs him by the arm, keeping him from attacking you. I said, you begin, but Kirishima cuts you off. Come on, Bakubro. Let's not start a fight and get into trouble with the teachers. Let's just go and have some fun checking out that haunted house attraction with the others. The blonde boy continues to glare at you for another moment, before turning away with scoff. Good riddance. You didn't really want to get into any trouble with Mr. Aizawa tonight anyway. After Bakugo and Kirishima disappear from view, you turn back to Midoriya as you and the 2 boys start down the path too, to make sure that he's alright. You alright, Midoriya? It looked like you hit your head pretty hard back there. Yeah. YN, I'm fine. No worries. Midoriya stutters nervously, his cheeks pink from embarrassment. You sure? You ask, and he nods with a small smile on his lips. Good. You sigh out in relief, glad that you didn't cause him to get hurt just by scaring him like that. I'm impressed, Ellen, Todoroki's stoic voice says, making you look away from Izuku to him. I may not have jumped, but you surprised me. Oh, thanks, Todoroki. You smile. Halloween's always been my favorite holiday, and I always try my best to act the part of something scary. Indeed. You played the part well. Yeah. You look great as a scary clown, Izuku adds. His comment makes you blush. Thanks. I really like your costumes too, by the way. Our costumes aren't as good as yours is, though, YN, Izuku says shyly. I agree with Midoriya, Todoroki agrees. Out of the three of us, you have the scariest and most authentic-looking costume. I agree, Izuku smiles, which causes you to blush heavily as the three of you make your way down the path and out of the school grounds to spend the rest of Halloween trick-or-treating. How I think Shoto Todoroki would react to your Halloween costume. Todoroki's point of view in third person. You know, Todoroki, if you want to talk to YN, just go and talk to her, Uraraka says from behind him as he continues to stare over at you as you use your quirk and make it as if you're using actual fairy magic to entertain Eri, who's smiling and giggling happily. Why would I talk to her? I always talk to her during class and training, he deadpans. You do? Uraraka nods with a smile. But don't you want to say something about her costume? She asks. Her costume? He asks, a confused look on her face which makes Uraraka nod. Don't you think it looks good on her? Before he can answer her question, she grins and waves to someone behind him. What's up, YN? Oh, just getting some punch, you smile. Love your witch costume, by the way, Uraraka. Oh, thanks, she smiles. I really love your costume, too. It's so pretty. Right, Todoroki? She asks while elbowing him in the side, a smile on her face. Yes, of course. Todoroki stutters, a bright blush on his cheeks. You look very beautiful, he continues with a small smile, to which you blush, causing Uraraka to giggle. Thanks, Todoroki. How I think Eijiro Kirishima would react to your Halloween costume. Bing! You glance down from the bathroom mirror to see that you had just gotten a text from your boyfriend of 3 years, Kirishima, that says that he's waiting outside for you to come out so that you can head out to Kaminari's apartment with him for the Halloween party that he's throwing. You're not really sure as to what Kirishima's going as, but you know it'll at least somewhat match your mermaid costume. That's your hope, anyway. You pick up your phone and send him a quick reply saying that you just have to put on your wig and then you'll be ready to come out. You finish putting on your wig and now you're making your way out of the house to meet up with Kirishima. You exit your house to find Kirishima standing by his car in what you assume to be his costume. Kiri? You call out as you close and lock the front door behind you. At the sound of your voice, he looks up from his phone, and as soon as he lays his eyes on you, his eyes get so wide and you can tell that he wants to say something about your costume, but he's just so awestruck. Aw, Kiri, you look so cute as a shark. You smile sweetly as you get to him and kiss his cheek. Thanks, babe, he stutters. You look beautiful. He continues to stutter, a deep red blush on his cheeks. Aw, thanks, Kiri. You smile as you lean in to kiss his lips gently, to which he accepts immediately. A moment later, after you let go, you smile and nudge your head towards the car. Come on, let's get going to the party. We don't want to be late, you say. Yeah, of course. He stutters again while opening the passenger door for you so that you can get into the car. How I think Dinky Kaminari would react to your Halloween costume. Dinky's POV in third person. He can't stop staring at you. He just can't. He's just so awestruck that he can't even take his eyes off of you. Why can't he stop staring at you? It's because he thinks you look hot in your costume. Damn. She's so pretty, he thinks to himself as he stares at you in admiration. He's so distracted by your beauty that he doesn't even notice that Shinzo, his best friend, is making his way towards him from the other side of the room. What are you doing, idiot? Shinzo asks, breaking Dinky out of his thoughts. Huh? Dinky asks as he turns to face him. Oh, Shinzo, it's just you. He chuckles nervously. What do you mean? I wasn't doing anything. Huh. Sure you weren't, Shinzo huffs with a roll of his eyes. I just fucking saw you staring at YN like a lost puppy. Dinky whips his head to Shinzo with wide eyes. No, I wasn't. At his response to that, Shinzo just gives him a "are you joking" kind of look in reply. At Shinzo's look, Dinky groans. Alright, man. Maybe I was staring at YN, but I was not staring at her like a lost puppy. Whatever you say, Shinzo shrugs. You know what you should do instead of just stare at YN? Shinzo asks after a few moments. Dinky looks at him with a raised eyebrow. What? Isn't it obvious? Shinzo asks him. Talk to her. Dinky turns to look at where you are and sees you laughing and having a good time with Mina, Jiro, Hagakure, and Yamamomo on the other side of the room by the snack table. I couldn't do that while she's... Shinzo cuts him off. If you don't talk to her, I'll tell her that you like her. You wouldn't. Try me, Shinzo smirks. After a moment of staring into Shinzo's eyes, Dinky relents with a sigh. Fine. This makes Shinzo's smirk grow in cocky confidence as he pets Dinky on the shoulder. Good luck, man. How I think Tenya Ida would react to your Halloween costume. You sit in your dorm room trying to finish your makeup for your Frankie Stein from Monster High Halloween costume so that you can join the rest of your classmates in the common area for the class Halloween party, which started about 10 minutes ago. You sigh out in relief as you finally finished your makeup. There, you sigh out with a smile as you glance into the mirror in front of you. Now, I can join the others downstairs. You smile. Just as you're slipping on your black and white wedges for your costume, someone knocks on your door. Who is it? You call out. Ellen, it's me, you hear Ida's familiar voice say from the other side of your door. Oh, all right, Ida. 1 second, you reply as you slip in your other shoe. Once your shoes are on, you hear Ida knock on your door again. Coming, you say as you grab the doorknob, opening the door. As you're opening the door, you see Ida standing there in his Frankenstein costume, his fist in the air as if he was going to knock on the door again and scorn you for being even more late to the party than you already are. Well, look at you, Mr. Class Rep. We're matching. You smile. It seems that we are, Ida replies with a light blush on his cheeks. Now, come on downstairs. We've been waiting for you, he tells you before he speeds off down the hallway towards the stairs with the help of his quirk, causing you to giggle with a shake of your head as you follow him. I think Nato Monoma would react to your Halloween costume. Wow, YN, you look great! Kendo smiles as she sees you walking down the hallway as you exit your dorm room to get to Gym Gamma for the Halloween party the teachers had decided to throw for the students. Thanks, Kendo. You smile as the two of you walk down the stairs to exit the 1B dorm building. You look great too, by the way, you say while gesturing to her costume. Thanks. I really couldn't think of anything else to go as. This was literally the best thing I could get together last minute. Yeah, you nod in agreement. It's still a good costume though, since you really do look like Misty from Pokemon. You smile as you link your arm with hers as the two of you make your way to Gym Gamma. As soon as you and Kendo enter the gym, all you see is your boyfriend Nato Monoma, who is dressed up as Dracula to match your costume, laughing maniacally and saying something about how you and him have the best costumes in all of UA. Oh boy, you groan out, facepalming. Don't worry, YN. I'll handle this, Kendo reassures you as she pats you on the shoulder for a moment before she makes her way to Nato. You watch silently as Kendo smacks Nato upside the head before apologizing to everyone that was around him before dragging him back over to you. What are we going to do with you, Nato? You ask as you stand over him, your arms crossed over your chest. At the sound of your voice, Nato literally jumps to his feet, his eyes wide with surprise and wonder at the sight of you. My love, he begins, taking your hand in his. You look lovely. He continues as he presses a gentle kiss against your knuckles. Thank you. You don't look so bad yourself, pretty boy. You smile as you fix the collar of his costume. Nato just gives you his all-too-familiar cocky smirk. Of course I do. And now with you by my side, we can show those losers in Class A who really have the best costumes. We could? You giggle as you grab his hand in yours, causing him to stop his maniacal laughter. Or we could just enjoy the party and just have a good time? You suggest to him while batting your lashes at him, just knowing that he won't be able to say no to you. How I think Hitoshi Shinzo would react to your Halloween costume. The feeling of someone staring at you is intense. You've been trying to ignore it since you're having a good time with your friends at the Halloween party you're throwing at your house as a way to catch up with your old classmates that you really haven't seen in a while. You look so cute as a black cat, by the way, YN. Mina smiles. Thanks, Mina. I just figured it best to go with something simple this year, you reply, all the while still feeling a pair of eyes on you from somewhere in the room. Out of curiosity, you look around the room to see who's staring at you. As you look around the room, though, no one is looking towards you. That is until your eye-colored eyes land on Hitoshi Shinzo, who's at the other side of the room with Denki Kaminari, who has his arm slung around his shoulders and a big grin on his face. Was he the one that was staring at me? You wonder to yourself as you watch the two of them. As you watch the two boys for the next few minutes, Denki seems to say something which makes Shinzo's face to flush pink as he looks towards you, only to look away once his eyes meet yours. Hi, YN! Kaminari waves with a big grin on his face, only for Shinzo to glare at him all the while pushing him off of him. You giggle slightly as you wave back before turning back to Mina, who grabs you by the arm, dragging you over to the snack and drinks table, which is where Shinzo and Kaminari are. Shinzo's POV, in third person. Dude, go talk to her, Denki encourages Shinzo for what seems to be the millionth time to him. She's going to the snack table, dude. This is your chance. Shinzo watches as you're being dragged to the snack table by Mina, debating on if he should talk to you or not. After a moment of watching you, Shinzo shakes his head. Nah, Kaminari cuts him off. Fine. If you're not going to talk to her yourself, I'll make you talk to her. Come on. With that, Kaminari throws his arm around Shinzo's shoulders again, leading him over to the drink and snack table. Back to your point of view. These brownies are delicious, YN. You have to give me the recipe. Uraka smiles. Oh, I want the recipe too, Mina squeals excitedly. Of course, you agree, smiling at the two girls. I'll write down the recipe for you guys before you leave later. Yay! Mina cheers while jumping up and down excitedly. Well, hello there, lovely ladies, a voice from behind you says, causing you to turn around and see Denki Kaminari with his arm thrown around Shinzo's shoulder. Oh, hey guys, you smile. You two enjoying the party so far? Definitely, Denki grins. Isn't that right, Shinzo buddy? Denki asks the purple-haired boy while nudging him in the side. Yeah. Great party, YN, Shinzo says quietly. Well, I'm glad you two are enjoying yourselves, you smile. And I love your guys' costumes, by the way. Thanks, Kaminari grins, all the while Shinzo nods with a slight smile on his lips and peaked cheeks. You look awesome too, YN. Don't you think so, Shinzo? Kaminari's question makes Shinzo's eyes go wide in surprise as his eyes go from Kaminari and then back to you. Yeah. He pauses for a moment as his cheeks turn a bright pink. You look nice. Thanks, Shinzo. You smile shyly, your cheeks heating up slightly as you brush your hair out of your eyes and behind your ear. How I think Mirio Togata would react to your Halloween costume. You twirl in your costume, just loving the way it looks on you. You can't wait to see Ari's face when she sees you as the fairy godmother from the live-action Cinderella. Whoa, sunshine! You look great! Mirio's cheery voice says from behind you. You turn around, a smile appearing on your face at the sight of him. Why, thank you, my prince. You giggle with a curtsy, which makes him chuckle all the while shaking his head. Mirio steps up to you, taking your hand in his, only to press a kiss to the back of it seconds later. You're very welcome, milady. He grins with a wink, which makes you giggle all the while feeling your cheeks heat up slightly. The doorbell ringing makes the two of you turn towards the door of your small house, knowing that Aizawa has come to drop off Eri for you and Mirio to take trick-or-treating since he, Midnight, and Present Mike have decided to leave her in your care so that they can go to a Halloween party. Mirio opens the door and smiles widely. Hey there, Mr. Aizawa. Togata. Ellen. Aizawa greets with a nod. Hello there, Eri. You smile as she peeks at you and Mirio from behind Mr. Aizawa. At the sight of you in your costume, her eyes sparkle and she grins before running into your arms. You laugh as you pick her up, giving her the biggest hug ever. I expect the two of you to take Eri until Mike and I come back from the party later tonight, Aizawa states. We'll take good care of her. I can promise you that, Mr. Aizawa. You say with a smile as you hold Eri in your arms. He nods in reply before turning away and making his way down the path to his car where Present Mike and Midnight are waiting for him. The three of you watch as the car your old teachers are in drives off before Mirio turns to you and Eri, who's still in your arms. Now, who's ready to go trick-or-treating? He asks Eri with a big grin. Me! Eri squeals excitedly. You smile at her as you hand her over to Mirio. Let's go trick-or-treating then. Yay! She smiles gleefully. How I think Tamaki Amajiki would react to your Halloween costume. Where are Tamaki and Mirio? You ask Nejire as you look around the room for the two boys. They should be on their way, Nejire answers. Mirio just sent me a text. Sounds good, you smile. You want some punch? Sure, she smiles. Okay, be right back, you say before walking over to the drink table, which is at the other side of the room. KK! Nejire giggles. YN! You hear Nejire shout from the other side of the room, making you turn towards where her voice came from as you grab your drinks. You smile at the sight of her with Mirio and Tamaki. With your drinks, you walk over to them, handing Nejire her cup of punch. There you two are. Love your costumes, by the way. Thanks, YN. Mirio grins. Your costume looks great, too. Don't you think so, Tamaki? He questions. In reply to Mirio's question, you see Tamaki's face go bright red before he puts his face into the nearest wall. Yeah. You look very nice. Well, YN. You hear him stutter out nervously. How I think Shota Aizawa, aka Pro Hero Eraserhead, would react to your Halloween costume. You smile at the sight of Shoto in his mummy costume. Glad that you had gone with your costume. Happy that he also matches with your Egyptian theme for the Halloween party that you two are going to tonight, along with some other pros such as Sazashi, Hawks, and Nimori. Deciding on surprising him, you tiptoe towards him, glad that you haven't put on your heels that go with your costume yet, because if you had, he would have definitely heard you coming. Once you're behind him, you smirk mischievously, knowing that he'll be surprised by you doing this. Shota! You shout as you grab his shoulders and shake him a bit, causing him to jump in surprise, causing you to laugh like a little kid. Ha ha, very funny, YN. Shota deadpans after a moment. Oh, come on, you know you love me. You smile. Unfortunately. He mutters, to which you stick your tongue out at him before walking back to the bathroom to grab your heels that go with your costume. It's silent between the two of you for a moment as you put on your shoes. Once your shoes are on, you look up to see Shota staring at you intently. What? You ask him as you start walking towards him. Nothing, he answers softly, still staring at you. You just look amazing. You smile as you wrap your arms around his neck and kiss his cheek. And do you look handsome as a mummy? He smiles back at you before pressing his forehead against yours as he wraps his arms around you, pulling your body closer to his. I love you, Sho. You smile. I love you too, he answers before he leans in to kiss you gently, which makes you smile against his lips. After a few minutes of kissing each other, you realize that you have to get going to the party. Not really wanting to be late, knowing that if you are, Hisashi will definitely call Shota and literally nag him until the two of you show up at the party. Let's get going, shall we? You ask as you give him your hand to take. Yeah, he answers with a nod as he takes your hand as the two of you start making your way to where the party is being held. How I think Toya Todoroki, aka Dabi, would react to your Halloween costume. You sigh out in boredom as you're waiting in an alley for Dabi, as you had been assigned to do a round of patrol with him by Shigaraki. The thing is, though, it's Halloween and the streets are crawling with civilians, police, and pro-heroes, and knowing Dabi, he'll start some kind of trouble if any pros approach him. You get as to why Shigaraki put you with Dabi for patrol, because Toga and Twice aren't around to do it, and Shigaraki being Shigaraki, he won't even leave the bar unless he has to, and he can't even stand Dabi. Whereas you get along with Dabi more than anyone in the league can or probably ever will. The hell are you wearing, idiot? You hear a gravelly voice ask from behind you as you stand in the dark alleyway. You don't jump in surprise since you know who's behind you. It's Halloween, Dabi. This is obviously my Halloween costume. You reply as if it's the most obvious thing in the world. You dressed up as a fucking police officer, though? Seriously? He asks you. What? You ask. Did you really expect me to go out on Halloween in my normal attire? Obviously, he replies. Well, you do know that we're two of the most wanted people in Japan, right? You ask, as you turn to face him. Don't you think it'd be better to blend in with the crowd rather than stick out like a sore thumb? Dabi's silent as he stares at you, his blue eyes scanning your costume intensely. Whatever you say, dollface. If you think it better to blend in with some brats in ridiculous costumes, then that's on you, not me, he says. Now, are we going to get this patrol over with, or what? He asks you, crossing his arms over his chest, looking rather impatient. Sure, you nod with a smirk, as you walk past him, swaying your hips and twirling your baton, knowing that he's staring directly at your ass. How I think Tanko Shimura, aka Tomura Shigaraki, would react to your Halloween costume. Do we really have to wear these costumes just to go out on a job for Tomura? You ask Toga as you walk closely behind her down the stairs that lead down to the main room of the League's lair. It's Halloween, nickname, and as such it's tradition to dress up. Toga grins, all the while skipping down the rest of the stairs. You sigh, not really wanting the other members of the League to see you in this Catwoman costume that Toga had literally forced you to change into, no matter how hard you fought and told her that you wouldn't put the costume on. Hopefully it's just Kurogiri and Shigaraki in the bar and no one else, because you just know that Dabi will say something about the two of you going out on this mission Shigaraki put you on like this. You stop at the bottom of the stairs, seeing Shigaraki sitting at the bar by Kurogiri, like usual, and Dabi sitting on one of the couches scrolling through something on his phone. Well, at least he's not paying attention. Maybe you can... Your thoughts about how you might be able to sneak out of the bar unnoticed by Dabi get interrupted by Toga saying, Me and Nickname are heading out on the mission. Wish us luck. You cringe at the sight of Dabi and Shigaraki looking at her in her costume, both of them looking at her with raised eyebrows. Don't tell me you're going on this mission like that, Toga. Tomura groans out irritably. Oh, believe me. You sigh as you step out into the room from the stairway and into view. I told her that this was a stupid idea. As you step out into the room into view, you see Tomura's eyes traveling up your body, clearly wanting a good look at you in your costume. A second later, when his eyes meet your eye-colored ones, he averts his gaze, causing his hair to cover his eyes and cheekbones. Just from the way his body tenses up, you can tell that he's blushing from the sight of you in your costume. You're liking what you see, huh, Krusty? You hear Dobby ask with a light chuckle from the other side of the room. Shut up, Dobby! Tomura growls as he whirls his head towards Dobby, clearly glaring at the scarred male who's smirking smugly at him. Toga giggles at the interaction as she grabs you by the arm, dragging you out of the bar. Later, boys! She sing-songs before the door closes behind the two of you.